Hi everybody, welcome to my home. Welcome to Bye Bye Loneliness, Chat and Collage video number 32. So if any of you have been following me and saw that on video 31, the thumbnail said, last one. I know, it was a very short video, a little over 3 minutes, and in it I said, I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I didn't go into a lot of explanation. It wasn't that I didn't want to offer you videos, but I wasn't feeling motivated to make new collages and think of what to make and stories to tell or poems. So I didn't want to make a video coming from that kind of energy that I held at that time. So that was the last one that I made, and I showed you all the videos. So if no one has gone to video 31, you could see all the videos or all the collages that were made in 30 videos. So I'm so happy to be back. So the next day after that, I didn't know what to do with myself. I thought, what did I used to do before I made those videos? And I was a little lost, yeah, to tell you the truth. I was like, what? And about 3 days later, the idea of a book, just like the word came to me, a book. And I thought, is this idea like writing a book? I can't write a book. I do well with short poems and short stories once in a while. And I thought, a book? Should I take a writing class? And I was like, not knowing what to do with myself. And I made a few collages for Love for Our Elders. And then about a week later, the idea formed. And the idea said, make a book using the collages that were made. And that was like, bingo. I was like, that's it. So I got out all the collages that we made and started looking through them. And I thought, well, how am I going to pick? How long is it going to be? So it would be like a picture book, you know, a collage on one side, and then on the other side, a little story about the collage, because I always see the collages as little worlds and very active. Most of them are, I see a lot of action going on. So I thought, okay, I could write a poem about it or a little story about them. And I want to show you that. So I want to show you what I did with our collages is that I had them in a box and in the portfolio. So I took them out and I put them in a 3-ring binder with plastic sleeves so I could see them easier and I could just leaf through the collages we did. And I'm just showing this because I want to show you my process. So this video is about the process. So then I have most of them in here. There were some that were a little too large to fit into a plastic sleeve. So they're still in the portfolio. I'm so glad I'm back here doing this. Da, 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 da. I want to dance, you know. I do a little dance. And so that's what I did first of all. And I looked through and I looked through and I looked through all the ones. You know, I wanted to say something. I notice sometimes I do have to look at my videos that I finish just to see like what I did and what I can do better. And I noticed that sometimes when I'm looking down, like signing one of my collages, that my hair looks oily. Well, it's not really. It's like I have curly, kind of, it can get fuzzy kind of hair. And my neighbor across the street has kind of similar hair. And she said, the person who cuts her hair said, after you take a shower and your hair's wet, just pat on a little oil to calm down the fuzziness. I don't know if I've told you that before, but I noticed that before I got on today. I said, are they going to think my hair is wet or oily? Okay, so if you've made a bunch of collages in, the past months, or if you want to make a bunch of collages, this is an idea. Make them, and then you can make a book, maybe for one of your grandchildren or children, or as just for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the coffee table. And then the next thing I did was I didn't know which ones to use. And it was very confusing at first. So I was picking out ones where the colors had the same vibrancy and this and that. And then I noticed that in a good number of them, either I'm in the collage or my cat Hannah is in the collage, and some of them, both of us are in the collage. So that helped me get a theme. So I picked out the ones that had either Hannah or myself in the collage, or both of us. And I got out another 3-ring binder, and these are the original collages, and I wrote little stories. And the stories really just say, what's in the collages, what they saw when they went to that collage world. Another one like this, and that's this way. So this is this is what I would call draft number 1 of the collage book. Pick them out, put them in the sleeve, write whatever comes to me, because when you do a book, anytime you write a book, there's going to be multiple drafts and changes. So I went through, and I think I had about 9. Let's see, I have 8, 9, and I've used this as the last one. I thought, well, that would be a good one as the last one, because it's me a little larger sitting down, and I put Hannah in my lap. Good, right? Okay, so that's draft number 1 of the collage picture book, and I just put this little sticky note here with an idea for a title of the Bye Bye Loneliness Chat and Collage Book 1, Hannah and Jean. So I'll put that on the coffee table. Now, I wanted it to look more like a book, but I didn't want to, and I wanted to print out, instead of using the original collages, I would print them out. But I did not want to use up all my color ink. Those color ink cartridges are expensive. So I printed them out in black and white. And I didn't staple them together yet, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And I think you probably know, because I might want to switch them around. So instead of this being the last one, I put it on the front. But I am not sure I'm going to keep this as the front page or the cover of the book. But I will, I'm using the Hannah is My Cat poem that I think I might have read in one of my previous videos. Ring. Hannah is my cat. She is a little fat. She licks her fur and likes to purr. Grasshoppers lose their bounce when she whops them in a pounce. Bunnies escape through the fence, making Hannah's face get tense. She'd eat all day if she had her way. A tubby tummy makes a cute sachet. Less food, more play she needs do, lest her cute meow become a moo. Hannah is fun with super smarts. A bonus is that she never farts. So I think that works okay for that page. So, unfortunately, I made this margin so close to the edge that I didn't want to, even using clips. Well, only for this first one. Wait a minute. So only for this first page, the clips, but I think the rest of them I made a wider margin on the left side. So let's see what we can do here. And I'm going to tilt down the camera now and show this to you on my left. Okay, here we go. get that a little closer, a little straightened down. So if the reason I'm coming for this video and making it is in case you would like to try something like this. If you made collages while we were doing the videos, or maybe it gives motivation, and you can make a really short book. It can have your children or grandchildren or whatever in it, your pets, in the collage, and you can make a little book. Now, I'm not sure how I'll end up with the finished product, how I will do that. Do I want to go down to the bookbinding store and have them do a little something, look into how much that would cost? I don't know at this point. So this is draft number 2. And there's usually a page in a book that's blank like this. And of course I'll have some kind of title page. Okay. So then I picked out this collage, and Hannah is behind the bridge there. And I'm not sure if you'll recognize them in black and white. And also, if this doesn't go to waste at all, because I can color in some of these items, maybe not all of them, but color in some of them, and that's very artistic in its own way, to have black and white and a few things colored. Now, because it is very difficult for me, maybe it's not for everyone, to figure out how to get what I typed on this page and what's this image here through the printer. So I just printed them on separate pages and put a little glue stick in the corners. That's what you do on drafts. You don't make yourself crazy, because I would have made myself a little crazy. So in this one, it's hard to see, but I am behind the sunflower. And there is a cat in here, but that's not Hannah. And I wrote a little bit about that. And you can see how it's getting kind of very drafty with the glue stick. And this one, Hannah's in the moon, and I'm over here, my face is over here, coming out from behind a rock. And let's see, picked out this one. I'm the only one in this one. And another one where I'm over here and Hannah's here. And then this one, I'm in this one twice and Hannah's in it once. And what I talked about in the first story was, my first sentence is, Hannah registered for a free trip opening up for cats and dogs and meowed with joy when she was selected. So that's how I started this book. And I have my head coming out here, and then in this castle, there's Hannah, and there's my face again. And a little story about it. And this one I chose. Now this one, I'm laying down, but you can't see the front of me, just my legs, and Hannah's in between my legs. And then I'm over here at a microphone where I had once read at a coffee shop from a book, and my poetry was in that book. It was a self-published book. And then this one, I printed on a darker setting, and I am here. Now this one, let me show you. This collage originally was 5 by 7, and it was vertical. And I thought, well, that's a problem, because what you'll notice I did with the draft 2 is I try to make them all the same size as you turn the pages. And this is the original of this one. So you can see, there's a problem. But I took a picture, got it on, sent it to myself, email, got it onto a document, and I just stretched it out. And I thought, everything looks okay, and I just look a little heavier. So you can do that. And when I make the book, when I make the final book, I'm not going to use the original, so that's okay. I'll still be able to print it out in color and do what I did here, stretch it out. And then that is that, my friends, our little community here. I hope that gives you a little motivation to make a book. And I'll just read a little what I wrote on the first one. And Hannah meowed with joy when she was selected. It seems she landed in London, sort of. Let me move this way. It's like reading a book to a child, like a picture book. The collage world had many old buildings to jump from roof to roof. Plenty of alleys, parks, trees, bushes, and a huge river. Whoops, sorry about that. You know how I am. Then she felt a little worry until her paws were firmly grounded, her fur in line with this new atmosphere, and when her nose got used to this world's new smells, she would decide, until then, she would park herself behind the London Bridge and watch. So that's kind of how I did it. I just described, a yellow duck drove the red Volkswagen and was talking, or maybe it was quacking. Now this will be all redone many times, I'm sure, probably at least 5 or 6 times. I don't know if I'll end up with a story like this or a poem, or maybe I'll make dialogue. I don't know. Anything you want to do, you can do. This is your book, this is mine, and I'm gonna bring up the camera. And that was fun. I felt like I was able to come back to a video and show you something creative in the process. Now, as I go along, I'll make another video when I get 2 more drafts done, and I'll show you the process of that. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. Bye.